Welcome to the Real Film Nerds Podcast.
Welcome, friendos, to another just scrumdiddlyumptious episode of the Real Film Nerds Podcast, number 389. I am your host, Magical Matt Hinshaw. No, that doesn't work. That's fucking stupid. I'm just going to go with Matt. With me, as always, mysterious Michael Talent, sitting here scrambling, trying to find the MCU tie-in for this next film we're going to chat about. Hi, Mike.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, definitely scrambling. A little bit. There's not a lot of people in the movie we're about to talk about, so it was a little bit challenging, but I was able to find something. So everything is fine in our world, and everyone can continue to live.
Good. I was very concerned. Michael, speaking about films that we're reviewing this week, why don't you go ahead and tell us what film we're chatting about, and why don't you break it down at the same time?
All right, Matt. So we're going to be talking about Reagan. So Reagan was directed by Sean McNamara. It was written by Howard Kleisner. It's starring Dennis Quaid, Penelope Ann Miller, Mina Savari, and C. Thomas Howell. And it's a drama based on the life of Ronald Reagan from his childhood to his time in the Oval Office.
All right, Mike. Well, I'm going to let you start out because I'm very curious your thoughts on this film. If you listen to me on Friday on the Lisa Live show, it should be Lisa Live and Matt because I'm that fucking awesome, but whatever. You would know my thoughts on Reagan already, but Mike, what are your thoughts on this film?
So obviously when you're doing like a documentary like this, it's going to be slanted in one way or the other. This was obviously slanted towards a positive view of Ronald Reagan and a kind of, I guess, pro, I don't know, if politics stuff, like, I guess, more Republican-based. So a lot of the crowd, I think it was kind of going after, and I even think they were trying to pull parallels. They're trying to, in some ways say that Reagan is correlates very well with Trump. I can't say one way or the other, but it was interesting. It was an interesting story to watch. I didn't know some of the stuff. I don't know how. I also am not 100% sure if everything in this movie was accurate, but I imagine that Ronald Reagan did participate or was a part of the Screen Actors Guild and stuff. I don't know about how turbulent and stuff the times were during his time. But that was definitely an interesting aspect of the movie. I feel like some of the things they could have touched on a little longer, and they just kind of glanced over stuff to try and get us basically to where he was in the Oval Office.
So historically, Mike, the Screen Actor Guilds, when he was the president, he started out as the vice president and then the president, I believe, was during the time when they had the communist witch hunt in Hollywood. And so Reagan was kind of standing up to it, even though, as we know later down the road, he was always against communism, but he was trying to help kind of defend. See, I'm putting words together again. Defend his friends and colleagues that, no, they're not communists and that kind of stuff. It was during that whole kind of period when he was the president and vice president.
Okay, yeah.
I'm forgetting the name of the senator that did it, though.
It was also interesting to see, I don't think I realized in his career, his political career, of course, being a vice president and president of the Screen Actors Guild, then that kind of led to him eventually running to be the governor of California. I didn't realize he was the governor of California.
You didn't know
at
that?
one point. No, I didn't know
yeah,
that.
Dude. It's very wild how opposite California has gone in what, the 40 or 50 years now. 50 years, I think, closer to 50 years since he was governor. I mean, completely opposite, big time.
Yeah, but at the same time, I also drew parallels to who's another actor who was a governor over there, California. The Governator, man.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger for sure. And he was a conservative as well when he was a governor. So maybe it was just lots of conservatism that brought about what they're experiencing now, because it is not a fun place to be, in my opinion.
Yeah, so the only thing that's I could see Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to run for president, except he's not a U.S. citizen.
It's not so much that he's not a U.S. citizen. He's a U.S. citizen, Mike. He was not born in the United States, and you have to be born in the United States to run for president.
Yeah, that's what it was. Born in the United States. I knew there was like one little caveat that was holding him back.
Yep, and that's it. Yep. So, did you like the film? Did you not like the film?
So I like the film for the most part. One thing that's kind of weird about this movie is, I don't think it's given away too much, is kind of how some of the stuff is being told through, like, the other side, I guess.
The communist spy. The KGB spy. Yeah, you could say it. Yeah. It's in the trailer.
Yeah, the KGB spy.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I'm not sure if it was really needed, but it was a way to, like, advance the story.
I think it was one of the better parts of the film because, Mike, I will be honest, and this is why people here are not happy. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate mail when I'm on the radio tomorrow. I'm hoping. But I really did not like this movie. I thought this movie was pretty fucking bad. And that's putting it nicely. I think for as big of a person this is, as big of a character both in life and in death Reagan is, this movie was a fucking letdown big time. I think the production was crap. It was on a level of like a B movie. The only saving grace in this whole film was Dennis Quaid as Reagan. Oh man, dude, he knocked playing Ronald Reagan out of the park. The rest of the movie, garbage. Penelope Ann Miller, terrible as Nancy Reagan. Like, Nancy was very strong and stout and stood her ground, and you really don't get that feeling in this film. It's just, historically, it's fairly accurate, but I think they spent way too much time on the first act of the film building up and explaining his life, and then all of a sudden it hits his political career, and just like you alluded to earlier, they hit fast forward. And that is the shit that I think is the most interesting about this whole film, was his time in the Oval Office and his time fighting communism and his time as governor and his time as the Screen Actor Guild president. And they just hit like the fast forward button to try and get as much in as they could. I think they should have just chopped the whole front act out.
Yeah. It kind of started out like, the whole starting of the movie, started with a bang, kind of.
Well, yeah, and we'll talk about that when we get into spoilers.
All right. But I don't know. To me, it was a little boring.
It was incredibly boring, especially the first half. So my mom will talk about it later on in her portion of the podcast, I'm sure. But my mom fell asleep 3 or 4 times. And my buddy Clint, who went with me to the film, as well as my mom, she was up visiting for a few days. My buddy Clint, who never falls asleep in movies, fell asleep twice during this film.
Yeah, it was boring. And it was long. Because towards the end there, I was like, man, what are they trying to get to? And they got to it, but man, it was long. And I felt like there could have been some better stuff about, if you're going to fast forward to get to the Oval Office, why don't you like stay in the Oval Office a little bit? I mean, they focused on what they wanted to focus on, though, I think, which was communism and the devil that is communism, I guess. But I don't know. It was definitely very politically motivated, I think, this movie. Like, it's very one-sided. and I guess that's okay. But I don't know. Like, it had a bunch of stuff. Like, I didn't know Reagan was divorced and married again.
That was one thing I didn't know either. Yeah, I always just knew Nancy.
Yeah. But I mean, it kind of makes sense. So, I guess it did feel like a B movie though. Like, and I think they spent a lot of money, Matt, but I think they spent it on like a lot of the historical things that they were trying to put into the movie, and like how they did all those graphics and stuff for like the different news articles and things, which I thought were kind of cool. But
no, I definitely think that helped a lot. Yeah,
I think it cost them a bunch, dude.
Oh, I'm sure it did. Again, the studio that put this out is not a real well-known studio. And Mike, I don't know if you know this or not, but they filmed this in 2020.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
They've been sitting on it?
Sitting on the shelf for 4 years. Now, I'm curious if that's playing into their thoughts of releasing it now before the election and trying to sway more votes to Trump or not. I don't know. I don't really care. I think the people that are going to go see this film are people that are going to vote conservative or Republican regardless. Because why would a Democrat go watch a film about one of the greatest conservative minds, to ever be a president? Why would they go and see that? They're not going to. So I don't think it's going to do any favors. Maybe some swing voters. I don't know. If it's a political ploy, I don't know if it's going to swing the vote or not. We'll see come November. I mean, it's only September.
Well, I will say, Matt, is it did better than they thought it would, and it was number 4 on the box office, pulling in $7.7 million, which isn't a ton, but I mean, it probably didn't cost that much to make, and they expected it to kind of bomb. So I don't know if this movie's gonna have like a slow, like, just burn and just grow, or if it's just gonna fizzle out or what. I don't know. I have no idea. Would I tell anybody to see it? I mean, I guess if you're interested in Reagan stuff, I learned a few things about his life. That was kind of cool. But it's pretty political, like heavy. Like, I don't usually try and tell people anything about politics because it's just such a rabbit hole of like, yeah, just don't want to deal with it, man. Like, it's just
I personally don't think people should go see this movie at all. I did not think it was done very well. Historically, a lot of it is very accurate, but for someone as iconic as Ronald Reagan, this is a shame. Like, Dennis Quaid is the best part of this movie. The rest of it is just crap. I really wish they would have done a better film. And they're estimating the budget on it at $25 million.
Okay.
This did not come off as a $25 million film. Godzilla -1 looks 10 times better than this fucking thing.
Well, that was done by a graphics artist guy.
Yeah, who was also the director and I think the writer, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, he knows graphic. Like, he was a visual effects like superstar.
Yeah,
he's going to make it look awesome.
There was some decent scenes. Okay, there's some decent scenes at the end. When they're at the ranch and things. That's one thing I was going to wait till spoilers a little bit. I'll talk about it a little bit. Reagan passed from Alzheimer's, or he had Alzheimer's before he passed, and he battled with it for 10 years. And that was a very important part of Ronald Reagan's life. And they talked about it a little bit, and they showed some scenes a little bit. That's kind of how they end it. But they really don't go into the struggles that he had and the struggles Nancy had and all that stuff, which I would have really liked to have seen, because it's becoming more and more and more prevalent. And to see that such an iconic figure had it would help. It would help, open people's minds to coping with it better, I guess is the nice way to put it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, they did talk about it, but they glanced on it like you said. So, well, Matt, I guess I'll get to the next part of the pod, and I'm gonna ask you, what are you drinking this fine morning, evening, afternoon?
Well, Mike, thank you for asking. So I was out jeeping around, so I brought with me some what we call road sodas. This is a Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer Strawberry Hibiscus. Say that fucking 5 times fast.
Wow, yeah. No, I'm aware of Topo Chico or whatever. Okay, cool, man. Well, I still got some Sam Adams Oktoberfest I'm sipping on, but
I have still not seen it in the store.
it's got to be coming, dude. It's like the Redcoats, dude. It's coming.
But okay, Mike, so your favorite part of the film, and we'll see if it's topical or not, the film. I am not doing well today. Mike, your favorite part of the podcast. What is this week's incredible dad joke?
I got dad jokes. I don't think they understand, though. Gotta think I'm funny. Other people never laugh, though. Dad jokes.
No, it's not topical. I think anyway. How does a bird?
You just skip right over it. You're like, oh, no.
Yeah. How does a bird with a broken wing manage to land safely?
Gliding?
With its sparrow chute.
Yeah, that was really not very good. Is that from the book?
That's from the book, dude.
Ah, shit. I love the book. Damn it. Book, you let me down.
Yeah. It's okay, man.
They're not all winners. I understand. They're not all winners, even in the book. So, all right, Mike, now the difficult part, and you've done it successfully. How does Reagan relate to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
All right, man. I had to dig a little bit deep for this one. But down in the makeup department, I found Gary Archer, who is a dental technician, and he also worked on this movie, and he worked on Deadpool and Wolverine as dental prosthetics.
Wow, that's how'd you like to have that job, Mike?
I don't know, but it's got to exist, you know, all these messed up teeth and stuff. This guy actually did Austin Powers, and he's kind of famous for that. So, I mean, Austin Powers definitely had some interesting teeth.
Now, do you think he's like a normal dentist, like during the week, and he just makes this shit on the weekends for a side gig? He's like, I make teeth for actors.
Yeah, his side gig is like a multi-million-dollar enterprise. I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe he doesn't get paid that much, so he does have to have the normal 9 to 5. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, how much are you going to get paid for making prosthetic teeth? I don't know.
I don't know. If they charge like anything like our dentist, dude, he's doing great.
Fair enough. Got it. Fair enough. I mean, Mike, you've never had to have braces, right?
No, I haven't had to have braces, but I get my teeth cleaned, and they try and sell me stuff all the time, and then also they still try to straighten my teeth. They want me to get a Invisalign. They want to sell. And in fact, one of the dentists, I don't go to this one anymore, but they had this thing where they 3D scan your teeth, and they're like, yeah, we could really fix this part of your tooth and over here. And I'm like, look, man, I don't care. Oh. Yeah, can you stop trying to sell me this thing? Okay. It's like, it was dumb, dude.
I've thought about doing that shit because the people that have like the perfect teeth, which has been, 3 girlfriends in a row where they got like, braces and Invisalign and whatever to make them look like perfect. Like, it's very striking. It's very nice. But I don't want to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to put shit in my mouth to make my teeth straight. It just seems like an insane amount of money.
Yeah, and there's even a chance with, I think, like Invisalign and stuff that you might need to wear it at night for the rest of your days to keep everything in place.
Oh, that sounds fucking awful.
Because stuff does move around again sometimes. So, like, I think it's individually based. So, I don't know. I think it depends on how much you have to move around. And, like, essentially, my buddy, who's a 3D guy, he's like, oh, you want an Invisalign? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, I have a program that can do it. I can print you off everything. So, you can just 3D print. He basically can do Invisalign without Invisalign.
Is it, like, at least... good plastic that you're shoving in your mouth, not like the cheap lead-based plastic.
well, he could send it to a good printer. Basically, he just sends the scans. They basically do some sort of something called morph targeting, where they can like move stuff around and like small positional changes, and then they just print all the different changes. And that's what it is. All it is it's just moving your teeth a little bit at a time, and you just change it to the next one until it gets, like, once they move a little bit to the next place, you move it to the next one, move it to the next one. It seems simple. I mean, I guess it kind of is, but...
Well, that's how braces work. They just tighten it down.
Yeah. Well, it's just doing that. Yeah.
Well, shit. Now I'm thinking about getting it done. Because my teeth have moved around a lot. As I got older. Like, my teeth used to be, like, I used to have gaps, and now I don't have gaps, and they're starting to run over each other. Makes no sense.
Oh, interesting.
Anyways, okay, so we won't talk about teeth anymore. We'll talk about Reagan. I don't know what more we really need to talk about. I mean, we can spoil it, I guess. There's not really anything to spoil. It's historically accurate as far as I know. I just wish it was better. I mean... an incredible man, and this is the movie we get for him? Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, I didn't know some things about the movie, and you know, obviously, this is kind of some of our time, Matt. But I mean, we were real little.
Oh yeah. When he was out at 89. I would have been 8 years old.
But it was interesting to see some of the stuff with like Star Wars and Gorbachev and like the Wall, and like I do enjoy, hopefully this was true, the one of the speechwriters on Reagan's staff was a journalist who spent the night in his lawn. Dude, I thought that was awesome.
I don't know if he was a journalist. I thought he was just a activist that was trying to talk to him.
No, I think he said he was a journalist. I think he said he worked for some paper or something. I think.
I don't remember, to be honest with you. I thought he was just an activist that wanted to have a meeting with Reagan.
Well,
and that was when he was governor. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
No, that was very cool. And I mean, he has some of the greatest speeches out there, you know, and especially the one, you know, the Berlin Wall, of course. I mean, nobody forgets that one.
No, man, it's constantly quoted.
But
wow.
There's redeeming qualities in this film, Mike, but overall I was very, very just disappointed. I really wanted it to be better. John Voight is the second biggest name in here next to Dennis Quaid, and he's a Russian spy that's talking about it that's completely made up and fictional. Like, I like that aspect of the storytelling, but it's not needed. And it kind of is confusing because people are like, oh, the Russians really did this? Well, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But he's fictional as far as this movie goes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting, like, the Russians trying to get into his head and, like, realizing it was a problem. If this really happened or not, I don't know. Like you said, it's hard to know on that side of the house. If any, like, I feel like all that was just made up. I don't know. But the age thing, Matt, during the debate when they thought there was an age thing.
Yes, that was funny.
I was like, oh wow, this is.
And you saw how good, you know, Reagan is. He knew how to talk. He was really good with one-liners and, you know, punching back.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, they highlighted in this movie that he started talking to crowds like very early on, and like had to do all these speeches and stuff, and then Screen Actors Guild and acting and all that. So that was all, that stuff was kind of interesting. Like, it seemed crazy that Hollywood was so, I don't know, volatile right around, was that World War II? Right, that time period? Close?
What do you mean? Like the time period in this film?
Yeah.
No,
like
it was
when
60s. 50s and 60s. So it'd been Vietnam and Korean War.
Oh, okay. Vietnam. All right. Yeah. I don't know.
That was the communist witch hunt. And I forget the name of the senator that did it. But yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that stuff was, I mean, some of it, yeah, there was things. Like there's one thing on this where they showed like George Bush, Senior is his vice president in his second term, I think.
It wasn't his whole term?
No, well, I don't know, but they showed him.
Yeah,
like
he
once,
was his vice president in the second term for sure.
He said like one thing. It was like,
well, and if you want to go down that road, Mike, I mean the Iran Contra shit, like they glazed over that, and that was a big fucking deal.
They did. They glazed over it.
Yeah, they glazed over a lot of the negative stuff. But again, this is a biopic about Reagan. You don't have to say the bad things if you don't want to. It's a private film. You can do what you want.
Right, and obviously they were trying to sway it towards the almost mythical stuff that he did. So,
yeah, I mean, they put him, elevated him to like godlike status in this film for sure. I don't know how they reacted at your theater, but I know how they reacted at mine. And after the film was done, people stood up and were clapping, and I was not. I had a hard time not laughing because it was just not a good movie. And I know they're clapping and everything because they're hardcore conservatives and all about Reagan and all that stuff, which is fine and dandy. But this movie was not good. I'm sorry, it was not good. It was bad. It was very bad. It should have been a lot better. A whole lot better, but whatever.
Yeah.
Don't go see it. That's my thoughts.
No, right. Well, I think if you like Reagan or you want to learn about Reagan, you can go see it. But
dude, watch a PBS documentary. It'll be better.
Yeah, maybe. It'd be shorter.
Okay, Mike. So what movie are we watching next week?
Dude, I don't even know, man. Where are we at?
Mike, how do you not know?
Oh, Beetlejuice?
Yes, sir.
All right, now I know.
Beetlejuice
It took me a second.
2, or Beetlejuice. So I am very excited for this film. I hope it's going to be the exact opposite rating of this one. That's what I'm hoping for. But I was talking with my buddy Clint about it on Sunday. I got done watching Deadpool and Wolverine for the third time in the theaters. And we were walking out, and I was trying to think of all the films that I gave 5s to this year. And I've given quite a few. I've given 3.
Oh, yeah? So it's Dune, Deadpool, and Wolverine, and?
Dune 2, Deadpool, Wolverine, and the one that's slipping your mind right now.
Fall Guy?
Correct. But it slipped my mind, too. I loved Fall Guy. And I kind of want to say that's the movie of the year, but right now for me, it's Deadpool and Wolverine because Deadpool and Wolverine are 2 of my favorite characters. And I absolutely love that film. So I think it's that, Fall Guy, possibly Dune 2. But Dune 2 was absolutely incredible. That was such a good film.
Yeah. Fall Guy just hit Peacock. You can stream it now.
Well, I bought it because I liked it that much. I didn't buy it on Blu-ray. I bought it on streaming.
All right.
I should buy it on Blu-ray, but whatever. It's fine. So, all right, Mike, next week, Beetlejuice. This week, Reagan, how many reels?
I'm going to give it 2 reels out of 5, Matt. It was okay. Just lightly okay.
Okay, Mike, how do you think I rated it?
Could you do -1? Is that, can you add a number?
No, I cannot go below 0.5. I believe is our rules. And I'm close. I am not 0.5. And
Are you a 1?
the 1 is for solely Dennis Quaid's portrayal of Reagan in this film. He was the shining star. He did a fantastic job. The only reason I'd tell people to watch this, wait for it to be on streaming, but watch it to see Dennis Quaid literally embody Ronald Reagan. He did that good of a job. Also, the historical facts. It is pretty accurate. It is, for the most part, even though they rushed it. So, that's my opinion, Michael, and I am sticking to it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Dennis Quaid did kill it. So, I mean, he carries the whole movie. I mean, he's on screen just about the entire time, and he was amazing.
I concur, Michael. I concur. So, do your thing.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, and make sure to follow us on our podcast, Instagram, Twitter, and we'll catch you on the next pod next week. Beetlejuice. I'm hopefully excited about it.
You're hopefully excited about it? I'm fucking super excited about it. It better be fucking good. Motherfucker better be at least a 4.
I have a hard time. I don't want to build up my expectations too high because it's like, but Tim Burton's back and all the other people are mostly back, so it should be good. I'm excited. Never mind.
All right. You're not hopefully excited. You are excited. I'm excited for it. If it fucking sucks, I'm going to be really sad, and I will have to watch Deadpool and Wolverine for the 4th time in the theater.
To get the Beetlejuice off.
I got to get the taint out. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that positive note of Beetlejuice having to wash off or being washed off by Deadpool Wolverine, we will let you guys go. So thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you for listening to The Real Film Nerds. Now, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Real Film Nerds. Now, go out and catch a movie.
Welcome, everyone, to Ma Henshaw Loses Her Cookies, episode 79, Reagan. Hi, Matt. How's it going this lovely evening?
Well, hello, Mother dear. From another state away. I feel so lonely. I'm here all by myself.
Oh,
crying.
Oh, I feel
You were here for like 3 days. I mean, Barry's sad.
Well, I'll come back. I'm like, your worst nightmare. I will come back.
No, you're not going to come back. Dad's going to pick you up in Casa Grande or whatever.
No, he's not because we're staying and he's not going to pick us up Thursday. Ha ha ha. There.
Okay, well, enough about your vacation that I didn't get to go on because someone dumped me.
You know what? Come next time, even if you're by yourself, because the bikini-clad ladies are quite wild, as Heather says.
Yeah, but I'm not pretty enough for them.
Yes, you are.
Well, that's because you're blind.
Well, I can't help that.
Gee, thanks for the vote of confidence and self-esteem building. Jesus.
No, you're very attractive. And
I'm very attractive to my mother/blind people. That's wonderful. Just as long as you don't touch me, I'm pretty.
Oh, dear. Now
well, enough hooliganism. You need to talk about Reagan, and I'm going to sit here and take a nap. Ready, set, go.
Oh, hey, it's not. You're going to take a nap. That's not fair.
You slept through the Ding Dang Dong movie.
No, I didn't. I only had 3 snores, and they were not very long.
I counted at least 3.
Well, but the thing is, the reason I had snores is because it was quite long in certain areas where it wasn't terribly interesting, that they probably could have left a few things out. But, it did go on and on at times, but it needed to. I mean, to me, it was very much like almost a documentary on Reagan. It was supposed to be, from what I've heard, It was supposed to be a more about his romance with Nancy. Oh, but there's my other problem. I do not think Penelope Miller was a really accurate Nancy. I think she was too young acting, and Nancy Reagan was a very strong woman, and she had her own opinions, and she controlled Reagan a lot in certain ways, and I don't think the movie showed that. So that's one of the reasons I give it one of the ratings that I'm going to give it. Okay? There.
Because you hated the role of Nancy Reagan, or do you just hate Nancy Reagan in general?
Oh, no. I thought Nancy Reagan was a fascinating woman. I actually saw Reagan and Nancy. We went to a rally when we lived in Riverside when he was running for office. She had a much more, I don't know, commanding presence, I guess, than Penelope conveyed. She might have been younger than Reagan, but she was still a strong woman. Oh, the cinematography, by the way, was very pretty, especially of their ranch and the property and all that, which I don't blame him for going there a lot. And it's cool how it shows how he was when he was young, how his mom was. I did not know his father was an alcoholic. I had no idea of that. I thought it was a good movie, Matt. I really did, but not earth-shaking. There. And that's all I think Dennis Quaid was phenomenal. I think he nailed Reagan's voice, and I think he looked quite good, looked quite like Reagan, not totally, but he did look very close. And the speeches that he gave, which Reagan gave, were very good. So, I found it interesting how he came upon some of his judgments. I knew he had difficulty when he was in the Screen Actors Guild and stuff, but I wasn't. This goes into detail, which is probably one of the ones where I went to sleep for 2 seconds, but not very long.
So who was the actor or whoever that was going after, or state? I think it was a senator, not actor, senator, that was going after Hollywood and everyone calling them communists?
Honestly,
forget the name.
I don't remember it either.
Should have looked it up by the time we started recording your podcast. But yeah, I talked about it on mine, and that's when all this was going on, I believe, when Reagan was president of the Screen Actors Guild, was when they had the witch hunt, the communist witch hunt. And even though Reagan was, clearly against communism, he still stood beside his fellow actors, actresses, and Hollywood types saying that they were not.
Right, he did. And he might have been wrong about some of them, but oh well.
McCarthy.
That's right. It's McCarthy. That's true.
See, now it hits my head when I'm recording you. McCarthy. Yep.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And
Mike and I were talking about, I was just trying to put it in perspective on what time frames it was, because Mike was thinking it was like the 40s, and I'm like, no, it was like the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Mom's shaking her head for those of you who can't see because we don't record video, but
no, thank goodness. I look horrible. I'm tired.
Well, at least I'm not blind, so I get to see this.
When I'm tired, my wrinkles get worse. Oh, it's awful. Well, anyhow.
And spending all day in SeaWorld tomorrow is going to make it even more worse.
Oh, I'm going to have sunburn wrinkles.
Hey, just don't slip and fall into the orca tank.
Oh, no, I won't. I mean, I hope not. You'd say, oh, there's a girlfriend of mine. No.
No, they would probably be like, "Oh, there's a light snack."
Oh, probably.
That would be
That's
awesome. I would love to die that way. Forever have a plaque at
okay.
like San Diego, not San Diego, but SeaWorld saying, I died on this day and I forever became whale poop.
Oh gosh, no. Anyway, we're going to see the what's the white whales or whatever. I can't think of what they're called. Belugas. There, that's it. We're going to go see
Sounds
the
racist.
beluga whale.
No,
No,
you don't like the you have to see the white whales, not the black and white whales. That's racist.
I saw the orca whales before. This is our second time there. So this time I will get a worse sunburn.
Yeah, but this is only your second time in 2 years. Mike goes like all the time, I think.
I can't help it. He probably has free tickets forever or something. I don't know.
He's a multi-billionaire is what it is. He is mysterious Mike Talent.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Okay, Mike. Mom, not Mike. Mom.
I'm Mommy.
Ma Hinshaw.
Yes.
Of the Real Film Nerds podcast, because I guess you're technically part of our podcast, even though you have your own, but you're at the ass end of mine.
That sounded
Should
bad.
people go see Reagan or not in the theaters?
Yes, I think it would be good to see it in the theaters. Just to see like the sets and I think where they take down the wall. That's pretty cool in the theaters, but you wouldn't lose out much if you did watch it at home. But I thought it was a good movie. Yeah, probably if you couldn't afford to go, maybe I wouldn't go to the movie. I'd just wait till it's streaming. Yeah. So that I made no decision there. Okay. Oh dear.
Yeah, well, you're not helping out your vast audience of Ma Hinshaw listeners. I mean, Mom, what is Steve Shishka going to say?
I don't know.
You're disappointing Steve.
Oh dear. Well, I liked it, and boy, I saw it on a really big screen. I was amazed, and it was really good because I don't know where the Reagan property is, but it looks a lot like it's around. I'm trying to think of the Santa Barbara. It looks like it may be in that area, and it's beautiful scenery, and I don't blame him for loving to go there and ride horses, since you like to ride horses. It's beautiful country, and that's beautiful on the large screen. But if you can't afford it and you have a lot of kids and you want to stay home, it'll still be very good. Okay? Then that's my view. And I'm sticking.
So it's good, but don't go see it in the theaters, but do go see it in the theaters. Got it.
Right. That's it.
Okay, well then how many communist cookies do you give Reagan?
Oh no.
Hammer and sickle cookies?
No, snickerdoodles. Anyway.
How many communist snickerdoodles do you give Reagan?
Okay, I give it 3.
Jesus.
Why? What's the matter?
You are just love this movie.
I do. I like it. I think it's very good.
Mike even gave it a higher rating than I did.
Uh-oh, and you didn't give it very high because I don't know, because I haven't.
You weren't sitting in the room when I gave my rating on the radio last Friday.
Oh, pooh, that's right. Now I remember. Oh, I disagree with you.
Again, kids, This is why you don't do drugs and drink, because when you get into your 80s, it all starts coming back.
Well, no, just when you're in your 80s, that, you're in big trouble.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's all the LSD and the mushrooms and the heroin and the cocaine and the meth that you did.
No, I never did any of that stuff. Never, never, never.
Lies. You know you love the 60s.
No. Besides that,
It's not really free love now, is it?
I never knew it was ever free love wherever. No. I got married in the 60s. So there. Okay.
Okay. All right. So then what movie are you talking about next week?
Oh boy, I'm looking forward to it. It's Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
No, it's not the third one. It's the second one. It's just Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Oh, it's only the second one.
Yeah.
Wow.
It took him, 30 years to make it.
Yeah. And his hair looks about like what my hair looked like today, actually.
The bad thing is he has more hair than I do. I don't like that my hair is falling out, Mom. It's driving me insane. It's really upsetting me. I saw pictures of the back of my head. I had no clue that it's so bad back there.
Okay, I have a remedy. You take olive oil.
Yeah, everyone has to go blind like you, so you don't have to tell me about it.
You rub olive oil and red onions and garlic on your scalp and you let it sit, and then you wash it out, and your hair's supposed to not fall out. It's supposed to grow again.
I am not turning my head into a salad.
Okay. Sorry. Just a thought, It's worth trying. Olive oil. Okay.
Again, folks, this is why you don't do drugs, because they come back and they bite you in the ass when you're in your 80s.
If you're lucky to make it there. Okay.
All right. Well, you have anything else you want to add from beautiful San Clemente, California?
Oh, it is beautiful here, and the weather is so cool and lovely, and the breeze is blowing, and I'm happy to be here. It's a lovely vacation. So everyone come down, but not when I'm here. Anyway, nope, that's it. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to another extremely off topic. Ma Hinshaw loses her cookies, episode number 79. Next week, Beetlejuice. If she gets to the theater in lovely California and can pry herself away from the beach. So no guarantees as of right now, but we will see. I know I'm going to go watch it with my buddy Clint, so I'll see it. But if Ma Hinshaw doesn't make it, she don't make it. So it is what it is. Thanks again, everyone, for listening, and see ya.
Bye.